The only thing worse than a bad cold email is a bad cold email obviously written by AI. Now, the A in AI stands for artificial intelligence, and it shows. It's creating this business fantasy novel sense of reality where people have access to this tool they can just use from their couch and it will just magically make them rich. But all it's doing is frustrating the people who have money to spend and want to solve real problems in their day-to-day work and lives. On the flip side, maybe it's a great time to start a company that keeps junk mail out of people's email inboxes. Now, I am seeing a lot more cold outreach written by AI. I just hate it. I'll just be honest, I hate it. The emails usually follow the same tired formula, but now with this layer of artificial personalization based on scraped content from my website or LinkedIn profile. Listen, just because your AI can parrot one or two phrases from my profile or website doesn't mean it's good outreach. If anything, it tells me you used a tool to autofill the blanks without actually understanding what I do. Now, I don't know why anyone thinks a Mad Lib style email will ever work, but that's the problem with people using AI to do this. They don't think. They outsource all of their cognitive labor to AI and SaaS tools, wasting electrons in the hope of getting paid. Now, I can tell when something is written by AI, especially when it tries to sound clever. It's getting easier and easier to spot it. I work with AI tools all day long, so I'm editing their output and always trying to get something usable from them. And when a cold email uses the same autocomplete patterns that I see all day from the generic AI slop that I get, it immediately raises red flags. It's not a thoughtful email. It's not a tailored email. It's just lazy automation with this like sheen of relevance, which is awful. Now, what actually works is analysis, like using AI to perform analysis. If you're going to reach out to me, spend a few minutes reading and thinking maybe. Don't just extract keywords and build your email around these keywords that you scraped from my web stuff. Understand what the recipient, in this case me, what I am doing and why it matters and how you can genuinely connect the dots with me. Offer something that feels timely and useful and not templated and off the shelf. Like if you've got a solution that I can pay you $1,000 for, that's more than you'll make from one massively scaled outreach email. I'd rather give you $1,000 than get your terrible mass scale outreach email. Anyway, AI is great for analysis, like going above and beyond, if you know how to write an intelligent prompt. Or, call me crazy, use your brain for 60 seconds before sending an email. Like actually read it and compose it thoughtfully and try to sell me on something. Now, here are some of the big problems I'm seeing in today's cold email formats and templates. Number one, your email shouldn't use templates. If I see the same templated email that I've been deleting for the past few days, I'm going to delete your email right away. A good email can be templated, but that template needs to sound human and the copy needs to be totally transparent, to borrow a phrase from my expert copywriter friend, Andrew Gould. Here's what a templated email sounds like. It'll usually start with a question like, are you tired of ... And it continues with the most obvious pain point. Or, did you used to work at ... And it continues with like a factoid from my LinkedIn. Garbage. The subject line in these templated emails contain congratulatory messages about recent public successes that I've had. For example, we helped one of our clients get 1.3 million downloads of their software in just 7 months. So I put that on our website, and now I get emails that say 1.3 M downloads in the subject line because that's what it says on my website. It's ridiculous. Stop using these templates. Number two, your emails. They should never sound fake. They should always sound like a human wrote them. For example, when I meet someone new, I never say, hey, congratulations on 1.3 M downloads in 7 months or 1.3 million downloads, whatever. I would say something like, hey, I saw that thing on your website about getting over 1 million downloads. That's really cool. How did you do that? Like, that's a conversation. In a subject line, figure out how to fit everything in just a few words. I recently got this email from this CEO who lives nearby and has like 30 mutual connections on LinkedIn. And he wrote to me saying he'd be in my city in 2 weeks, which is probably 10 or 20 miles from where he lives. And in the body of that email was a forwarded fake email that said, I came across Edify content in Mesa. I think we could really elevate their brand story and showcase their offering in a cool way, like we did for U-Haul. Found an email for Anthony at edifycontent.com. We should try to meet up with them when we're there for Will Scott. Like, honestly, who would write that? Who speaks like this? It is idiotic. Not only do I know the CEO lives here in town and will be here in 2 weeks and in 2 months and in 2 years unless he moves, but nobody in their right mind has ever written an email to a coworker that says, I came across company in city. Come on. Also idiotic is that this cold email subject line was Anthony from Arizona State University. Like, yes, I have 2 degrees from there. I used to work there. I spent 5 years on their industry advisory board as the chairman. No, I would never introduce myself as, hey, I'm Anthony from Arizona State University. Like, use your brain. How fake is this email? Nobody writes emails like this, not in a real work setting, not even between colleagues or when people are just trying to sound casual. It's obviously AI generated and the tone is just off. It reads like someone prompted a bot to sound informal but persuasive and pasted the result into this fake thread. Okay, number 3, your emails shouldn't lean on fake stats. I recently got an email with the subject, "This pains me." And it said, I noticed your site's average visit is under 30 seconds. Totally normal issue, but it got me wondering. And I'm like, what? I went and searched like, can somebody know my average site visit? There is no way that a person could know my average site visit time. That's something that's reported in my own private web analytics. It's not a public stat that can easily be estimated. So don't do that. Also, stop with this whole fake scarcity approach that I'm seeing too. You don't do cold email and say you only have 2 slots left for the month. I get that you want to sound and look popular, but a bad cold email outreach indicates that you need work, not that you have limited availability. Stop BSing people. Okay, number 4. Nobody wants to watch your fake 91-second personalized video, which is really just you green screened over a video of a web browser scrolling my website or my LinkedIn profile. That's not personalized, it's just auto-generated garbage. And I've watched a couple of these videos, wasted my time, and just realized this is just another dumb tactic people are using AI for. Number 5, don't make obvious brain-dead claims. I got a cold email recently that said, since lead generation is so important to you, ... Who doesn't care about lead generation? That's like asking, hey, could you use thousands of extra dollars per month? Like, are you kidding me? What kind of statement is this, right? Number 6, you can take my money, but don't waste my time. Money comes and goes. It's practically infinite. I can always get more money and I'll figure out how to buy something that maybe I can't afford right now. But I can't get more time. So convince me that by handing you money, I can save myself more headaches. So, the actual job of a cold email is to send something worth reading. It doesn't have to be clever or creative. It just has to be grounded in reality with a real reason to reach out and some evidence that you know what you're talking about. If your message sets off my internal editor, I'm not gonna spend time deciphering what you were trying to say. I'll just delete your email. All right, here's some tips on how to write a good cold email. Number 1, sound like a human. If you wouldn't say it out loud in real life, scrap it. I always tell my writers to imagine they're talking to their prospect at a bar and you both have had a drink already because alcohol makes you sound a little dumber and it greases the skids a bit. Use the language you imagine coming from that conversation to sound more like a human. All right, tip number 2, lean on results. Everyone wants a good result. Weight loss programs always promise drop 10 pounds, feel great, and look even better. So simple. Do the same thing with whatever you're selling and lead with that in your subject line. You can even add some mystery to your subject line to get someone to click the email and read it, but lean on a result that they can expect if they give you money. Tip number 3, remember who you're talking to. There are real humans receiving these emails and they have a real human problem that's specific to the work that they do. So don't blast out emails to huge lists just because you can, because you got an instantly AI subscription or something. Segment your list and write a really targeted cold email that can be modified for personalization. Tip number 4, read your email out loud before you send it. This is so simple and takes just a few minutes. I, for example, just recorded an audiobook for my newest book, and let me tell you, reading an audiobook is a great way to edit your book. This is my third audiobook, and oh my goodness, it makes a huge difference. Recording an audiobook is part of my process of editing now because you find a lot more mistakes and issues reading your book out loud than any other way. The same applies to your email. Read your email out loud. Print it and read it, preferably to someone, and they can say, yeah, that sounds fake. That sounds stupid. Number 5, don't use AI until you learn how to write a great email. I'll say that again. Don't use AI until you learn how to write a great email. Go do the research and the hard work. Do the reps and get some practice in. AI is here to help you scale, not just do the work for you. I'd rather send a great email that I handwrite to 100 very targeted people than a bad email to 1 million people. When you pinpoint perfection with your email, then you can scale it out to more people and build on that success. Stop thinking of it as like this numbers game that's just probability, like, oh, if I get 1% of 1 million to open the email. No, write a good email. Get good at writing a good email. All right, and the last tip, number 6, trigger emotions for the reader besides the anger of receiving another bad AI email. I personally lean on twisting the knife. When I talk to my clients about how to really reach people, I always say we should twist the knife. That means finding something that really sucks about what they're doing and point out to the reader that they should either know better or they're missing out on a great solution, and then harp on the value and the results of buying from, me or my clients or whatever. All right. All of that said, AI can help you with outreach, but you have to improve the quality of your thinking, not the quantity of your output. Do you understand? You need to think to write a good cold email. You don't just have to produce cold emails and see, like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. There is no advantage in sending out thousands of barely relevant messages when a few thoughtful ones would go much further. Cold emailers, I generally know what they make, a few $100 a month, maybe a couple thousand. That's kind of the lower end tier. But like, if you could just write one great email that gets you 10% commission on 5 or 10 sales for a multi-$1,000, service, you're going to make so much more doing that. Just write really precisely targeted, excellent emails. And then finally, of course, if you need help writing some great cold emails and email sequences for your big campaigns, send me a good human email at anthony@edifycontent.com. And if you've got some annoying AI email complaints, leave them in the comments. I'd love to read them and have a good laugh. All right, thanks.